you talked about Tiny Lister in the book, and I don't know, man. Maybe I just found that fascinating because of who Tiny was, and I don't
Uh,
know. Can you give us a glimpse, without me reading that passage of the book on tonight?
yeah.
But give the listeners a little tidbit of what it was like when they brought in Tiny Lister, who ended up being Zeus from the movie No Holds Barred. And correct me where I'm wrong. You were
Uh-huh.
basically kind of like a babysitter for Zeus.
Yeah, a guide, a babysitter. Well, we could call it all kinds of things, but yeah, they basically took an actor from Hollywood that had no idea of how to go from town to town to town to town, day after day, and what was involved, and threw him into the road life, and
Right.
he wasn't going to make it. He wasn't going to survive without someone. And they asked me, and I said, well, worst thing can happen is you send me home. And I ended up being with him for about a year. As far as what it was like, it was rough in the very beginning because there was a lot of resentment on him. I wasn't just taking care of him. There were times where I was like a peacemaker because the boys did have some respect for me. At least some of the boys had some respect for me. Tiny, I gained his, and so I would have to explain to him why the guys were resentful about some things, and I would have to explain to the guys he's not that bad. Truthfully, he
Right.
doesn't know. He has no idea. And by the time 3 or 4 months passed, yeah, about 3 or 4 months, things started clicking because they realized that he wasn't there trying to steal he was stealing a spot. He was, in their minds, stealing money, but he wasn't there for the long run. He was there, and if you didn't run him off, you were actually going to benefit from him being there because he did business,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever revisionist history comes out. He did business to the point that they added pay-per-views in those days. Before there was the monthly pay-per-view, those days you still had the big four,
Right.
and they added like two during his run because he was doing that kind of business.
Right. Well, so he may have been like you said, because I remember in the book there were guys who were resentful of him, as they had
Sure,
worked their tail off for years, and here he
exactly.
is, he slides in, he gets the top spot with Hogan, and
Mhm,
there's people that are upset about that because they feel like they've
mhm.
paid their dues, and I mean, Dusty, I've
And they
read your
had
right, right, and if their story is anything like yours, taking bumps on a concrete floor as you're getting trained and whatnot, you paid
some of
those.
them did. Some of them
Right.
did.
Right, they pay their dues, so they're resentful. But you were more of you tried at least to be a peacemaker and in the story with Tiny.
Well, yeah, because I was most of the guys that I could talk to, most of the guys that respected me, I could always hit them with the one line that you would if you could.
Oh yeah, and
You know,
anybody
if
who
they
did
just
not.
walked you into that spot, you'd take it too. And
Right, right,
instead, let's make the most of it. Let's make the bigger paydays because the houses are that good.
right. And if anybody denies that they would do that, they're lying. That
Exactly.
because if somebody, I don't know what Tiny was getting at that time, but obviously
Yeah.
it was probably pretty good. Somebody offers
I
you,
know he was getting six-figure deals. Each time he got another deal, it was another six-figure deal. So
so there you go.
go from there. And he got at least three deals while I was there.
Right. So three six-figure
So,
deals.
hmm
If any of the guys that were your status or even above are offered that same
Yeah,
deal, you think they're going to turn it down? No.
guaranteed.
Right.
No, especially the day when nobody had guaranteed salaries. So all these days of the contracts and my deals that didn't exist. You might have signed a piece of paper, but that was stating that you'll make $50 a night. We'll guarantee you 100 days of work. That was it.
Right.
That was just to keep you from jumping to the Atlanta office or such. That was all that was. That's the only thing that existed.
Yeah. It's crazy. I enjoyed that story during the book because that was one of the things
Yeah,
I had no idea about. You know what I mean? And it
yeah.
was kind of cool.